Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Analog Report. That's the name of our show, right?
Yeah.
That's the one? Okay.
You hit the nail right on the head
Just hit it right there. My name is Mark Sullivan. Joining me, as always, is Jason Kwasnicki.
with his
And,
Harrison Ford perfectly coiffed hair.
and Delilah Lugo with her Harrison Ford perfectly coiffed hair.
Oh, she's got that Deadpool bling.
Oh yeah,
Deadpool.
they probably can see it though.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's pretty cool. What are the yellow things?
They're
Are they chimichangas?
chimichangas, but they look like tacos.
Yeah, they look like tacos.
Yeah.
Those are big, like, half circles. They look like, yeah, alright. Alright, why are we here? What are we doing? What just happened?
E3, man.
E3. Yeah, so E3, it's kind of like going on as we're recording, but all the press conferences already happened. We pretty much have an idea of everything that's going to be announced or that was announced. Enough to talk about how we feel about it, and also at the end of the show, second half of the show, tally up our predictions and see who won the big E3 predictions contest of 2018. So, what did you think?
Well, I'm confident that I got at least one prediction right.
Yeah. I'm confident you got at least one prediction right too, but we'll get to that later. How did you
Other
feel?
than that, I'm spellbound.
How did you feel about? No, the game's called Scalebound, and it was canceled, Jason. How did we feel about E3?
It was I.
Yeah, it was meddling. I mean, it's a bad sign in the current generation that we're in when Microsoft kind of had the best overall show, if not the best first-party content. They had the best overall show, the most amount of games, the most amount devoted to game time, as well as some big announcements that weren't necessarily games. But I mean, they announced that they fucking ate up 5 studios, big name studios.
And all right, so let's double down and talk about Microsoft real fast. That's actually part of why they were my favorite show. Because that's something that they've really needed. Was more studios to call their own. We know Sony has so many first-party studios. Nintendo has so many different divisions working on so many different projects. Like, Microsoft is the one big publisher out there that really needed in-house studios or first-party studios making like games that could be called Microsoft games or Xbox games. And so I really loved hearing, like, they acquired Playground, they acquired
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory. That was probably the biggest surprise out of all of
Yeah,
them.
me too.
And
Me
Ninja
too.
Theory has a PlayStation exclusive. They're Neo, right?
Yes.
No,
They're not? I thought they were.
that's Team Ninja.
Team Ninja. Sorry,
Oh,
all
sorry.
these ninjas.
That's
yeah,
Team Ninja. Ninja Theory did make
Hellblade.
what was a time Sony exclusive, but is now on
Yes.
everything. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that's honestly crazy that they acquired that studio.
Good move.
Good move.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They acquired the studio. I forget the name of the studio that's making We Happy Few, which I think is a good fit. Because that's going to get them, them and Ninja Theory are going to get them 2 studios that are really well versed in making single-player, story-driven things, which is something Microsoft is really lacking in.
With Microsoft resources, Ninja Theory could be a Naughty Dog, Santa Monica level competitor. Yeah.
Right, and it's
Damn.
really great that they went ahead and snagged both of them, opening a new studio, finally acquiring the studio that's responsible.
Ignore.
Finally acquiring the studio that's responsible for Forza Horizon, which is kind of surprising that they hadn't done that previously. It was so cool to see that happen, to hear about that, and that on top of non-stop games, world premiere, and
Right. Even if it. Oh, sorry. Go
I
ahead,
was gonna
Delilah.
say, I just think Microsoft had the best pacing out of all of them, hands down. They did what
Yes.
Sony did like last year and the year before.
They definitely took a page out of their book. The only thing that they did that they kept doing from the past was having people come out on stage and talk, which was
Mhm.
fine. I didn't have any issues with what anyone had to say. Even while people were talking, they were primarily showing gameplay. The one exception that comes to mind was Devil May Cry 5, but it was so endearing that I didn't mind.
Right.
That was
and-
a pretty funny, yeah.
And also, what a surprise that was! Like that was
What,
Yeah.
what do you
awesome.
what do you say? English is hard. You
Matt,
talk.
You do it.
Yeah.
It was it was just so, I don't know, adorable. And having Kingdom Hearts 3 be the first showing at E3 of that game, considering it had 3 total.
Yeah, little did we know.
Yeah. It was just such an enjoyable show, beginning to end.
Yeah. I
and
was
My-
really surprised when they announced Battletoads. That for me was
Yeah,
like a
right?
mind fuck. I was like, "What?
I feel
Is
like
this
that's
really
something
happening?"
we were joking about. Like everybody that interested in games is joking about that for so long, and
Yeah, as April Fools. Yeah,
yeah, and now it's like going to be a reality. There's a new Battletoads game coming. It's hilarious.
yeah.
And
Pretty
I
soon
get
you're
why
gonna be
they
able to
threw it
call
in
up
there.
GameStop and actually ask them, "Do you have Battletoads?" And they're going to
did
have to
it.
say yes because they do.
I get why they threw it in there. However, I kind of wish they had a little bit of something, even if it was just like a trailer. I understand at this point it's probably in like conceptual phases. They might not even have gameplay, but just a little something. It was the same thing with like my biggest criticism probably of the entire conference was the one thing that really, shot me in the high gear with the Microsoft conference was the fucking opening, Halo.
Mhm. And that was
but it-
probably one of the weaker announcements that they had
Yeah,
because
exactly. I thought they were going to come back to it at the end.
and
but
I
they
still and it would have been good to but I still have no idea what that game is. Like
No, when they first showed it, I was like, "Is this No Man's Sky?" Because they were like dinosaurs, and then you,
Right.
I thought it was gonna be like a new Turok or something.
yeah,
Like I had no idea what to expect, and then we see that helmet, and I screamed like that was awesome. That was a cool reveal, but it taught us nothing, and we never got to learn anything.
Right,
The
exactly.
most that we got to learn, I think, is talks that potentially when that game launches, it'll launch with only a campaign with multiplayer coming later, which is really weird and kind of sketchy. But we still don't know. We don't really know anything about that game.
yeah.
Right. I
don't-
definitely don't think it's going to be a traditional Halo.
To be fair, I don't even know if it's Halo 6. Like
No, that's what I mean. Yeah.
seemingly seemingly from preview info that we got, the story's picking up right after 5, so you could make the argument that it is, but we don't know. I feel like we just don't know enough.
Yeah.
And the other big point I want to talk about, since we just talked about the beginning of their conference, I want to talk about the end.
Cyberpunk.
Which I didn't see coming at all, and I was honestly really confused up until the trailer. Right as the trailer started is when I realized what it was. I thought it was really cool, but I just had no idea. And then suddenly the trailer started. I'm like, oh, that's right. CD Projekt Red is here, and they're showing their game.
Yeah.
Like, that's what this is. And then, of course, their name pops up, and I'm like, that's what this is. And that was a really cool, well-done reveal. It was really clever, and just very, I guess, meta.
Yeah. Strong way to end it too.
Strong way to
Right.
end it. Little disappointing that gameplay is only being shown behind closed doors. We know that it's a first-person game, and from previews that have been coming out, it's like a mixture of Deus Ex and Fallout. I might be wrong about that. I know Deus Ex was cited heavily, but it seems really interesting. It's something new for them. It just sucks that we don't get to see it.
Yeah. I was really interested in looking at the world because The Witcher 3 was such a beautiful map
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
and like the cyberpunk style just seems awesome. So it would have been cool to see a little more of the world, but I guess we'll get that soon, right?
We will. I'm sure we will.
I have a feeling, especially I have a feeling one of the reasons we didn't see necessarily gameplay. There's stuff being shown as we speak behind closed doors, and there are videos you can go and see that. I do think with this game, they might be a little afraid simply because, like, we know that originally they were planning on doing both third person and first person, and now it's kind of been cut down to first person. I think there might be a little bit of cutting back they're doing at the moment, just so this game actually comes out within this decade. And they want to kind of, make it as polished looking so that's not as obvious. But we'll see. We'll see when whatever's being shown behind closed doors becomes public.
Sure, yeah. Transition. Speaking of, transitioning from a game that is being shown but behind closed doors, let's talk about games that aren't being shown at all because there's fucking nothing to show. I want to talk about Bethesda.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to know because we talked about this a little, but I feel like we didn't really go in depth. How did you guys feel about that conference?
Can I go first? Because
go.
as a huge Elder Scrolls / Fallout fan, and I'm talking like OG Fallout,
Right.
that conference was basically the early stuff was fine with what's his name? Why am I thinking Sean Layden? That's PlayStation.
Oh, the
God, what's his
Pete
name?
Hines.
Pete Hines, yes.
Okay.
I don't know why I was thinking Sean Layden. The early stuff, Rage looked cool. Doom,
Yeah.
New Doom sounds awesome.
And some
Wolfenstein stuff sounds awesome.
Yeah, some stage cringe, cringe aside, all that stuff was pretty interesting. I really liked the Andrew WK
I did too.
thing.
It was-
except
It
while
is what
he's-
it is.
While he's playing, show some gameplay.
Some gameplay, yes.
Because I
Yeah.
feel like that performance, and we'll go into this a little later with other performances, but that performance went on a little too long to not show anything, especially with the long, drawn-out talk that Pete Hines gave at the beginning. They went a long time without showing anything.
And the weird thing was that Sony already showed how to do this with the orchestrated music
God of
alongside.
War.
Right.
Yeah.
They do it in a much classier way, and they did it without having any talking. It was like cut in half essentially. You can
Yeah.
have that performance, but don't have that performance following talking and then finally showing something.
But
Instead of
the
we saw the
yeah.
audience, they were like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's another
exactly,
thing
exactly.
This was a very energetic performance and very energetic show. The audience just wasn't in it.
No.
Yeah.
And they kept showing the audience that
Yeah.
was in it. It was we were lolling on the chat like,
Yeah, we
You-
were.
really gotta pick who you show on camera.
Yeah.
But the main thing that we kind of associate with Bethesda, like Elder Scrolls and now Fallout after they bought it, as a longtime fan of those franchises, that conference felt like Todd Howard basically getting on stage and just bending over and farting in my face for like a half an hour. That's what that felt like.
I almost don't want you to elaborate on what you mean.
No, I don't want to elaborate on what I mean.
Basically, I mean,
I was heartbroken. I told you guys in chat, I was like, I'm heartbroken.
I want to elaborate because I'm not heartbroken, but I'm more so annoyed. Bethesda's really made a name for themselves in the past few years, especially with their E3 press conference, by showing a game and then releasing it months later.
Mhm.
And
Which
with
they're
this-
doing, to be fair.
They are doing with some of those games.
Fallout 76, which is the one that really...
The biggest problem is so they showed Fallout 76, and I feel like they didn't give enough. He didn't give enough details during the show.
Because the details that they gave after the show were not the details fans wanted to hear.
That's true. And
Yeah.
it seems like a really cool idea that I just don't really have an interest in playing, but that's fine. That's me. He showed it extensively, talked about it a lot, and then he went on to talk about an Elder Scrolls mobile game that I am in no way interested in. I think it looks really boring, and some people are excited for it. I mean, and frankly, it shows some promise. All it really got was like, was a stage presentation. It very well could be an interesting, fun game, but it just didn't look like it. And it's always hard to also demo. I feel it's always hard to demo and show mobile games on a stage like that.
We saw more gameplay for Blades than we did for Fallout 76. I
Yeah,
feel like.
I would say maybe even the same, which even then is kind of bad.
Yeah.
But he followed up that all that aside, he followed that up with two very un-Bethesda things. And this is where the crux of my issue with their press conference comes in, and why it ranks so low on my list, which you can find on Twitter if you really are interested in my tier list for the conferences. They showed a trailer for confirming the new IP Starfield, which told us nothing about that game.
It's a next-gen game.
It's a next-gen game. He said that. It's a next-gen game. That trailer told us nothing. And then he went further to confirm a game that's coming after Starfield, which is The Elder Scrolls 6.
Those games are both PS5 games.
And not to mention, that's a game we all knew was coming. And I don't understand personally why everyone is so excited about the fact that that was announced and was so happy about that, because
they think it's coming out this gen. It's not.
And it's not. They basically made that clear, and the whole thing is like, you knew that was coming. Elder Scrolls is by no means a dead franchise. They support it through and through. You could see that by how much they've re-released Skyrim, and the fact that they're making a mobile game. Why is everyone so happy that they confirmed Elder Scrolls 6? Like, it's years out. They could show nothing for the next few years, and you're going to be disappointed all over again.
They don't even know where it's going to be. If they don't know where it's going to be, like what the subscript is going to be.
And that's the thing is they might, and people are theorizing from that trailer, like, oh, this specific detail over here and all that makes this look like this region, and that's fine. Maybe they intentionally made it that way to make people wonder. People are going to theorize no matter what. But it still just bothers me so much that they decided to end their conference that way. If you would switch those two games, the mobile game first and then Fallout 76, you could have ended perfectly. But instead,
right.
Or just not have a conference.
And that's the next thing, is they because it almost seems like these two announcements were there to justify the need to continue having an E3 conference, and I don't think that's a good reason to announce games that are years out.
Yeah.
No.
Who didn't really try to justify their need for an E3 conference is Square Enix, who showed a little under half an hour of, I don't know, not really much that was interesting to me.
A lot of stuff we already knew was coming.
A lot of stuff we already knew. Two games in particular were announced.
In Microsoft and previously, like Octopath Traveler, I think it was.
Right.
That was like.
We got a new trailer for that. We got a gameplay demo for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which I didn't really find very interesting. Because
it's the same thing as what we've been getting with
exactly,
Tomb Raider.
and I almost wonder, like, why demo that? It didn't really show anything new and interesting. It just showed Tomb Raider.
Right.
So I don't really get the justification behind that. We got the Octopath Traveler trailer. We got two new game announcements, which was the new game from Platinum Games, Babylon's Fall.
Yeah.
And The Quiet Man, which I thought was really
so weird.
And then we also got that another teaser this game was announced during Microsoft's, but the Captain Spirit.
Oh yeah, that's coming out in June.
Yeah, the tie-in, or the game that takes place in the Life is Strange universe, which, if you're a fan of that franchise,
which looks interesting. As somebody who never played Life is Strange and had no interest, I generally don't like those kinds of games. That story did interest me.
It didn't do anything for me, but that's just me. It's cool that they're releasing it for free. I like that.
Yeah,
it's really nice of them to do. It's and that's a good studio. I respect.
Hope it has a platinum.
Can I say one? Can I
That's
say
the one
one
thing
quick
Delilah
thing?
cares about. What's up?
Can I say one quick thing about the Quiet Man though? I genuinely think somebody at Square Enix was like reading a Daredevil comic, and like didn't understand his English too well, and misunderstood what was going on. Because that's what it basically seems like.
Oh my god.
Maybe I don't know. And the way that they ended this very short and abrupt press conference was by showing almost the same trailer, the same Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer that was in Microsoft show, slightly modified with some additional little story scenes in there.
I didn't even notice them at first. I think they're really for like the fans of the series.
As a fan of the series, they are. I can basically confirm that. Just because I watched that trailer and I noticed things about it. You know, I noticed little intricate story things. But regardless, we're not going to get in the nitty gritty of Kingdom Hearts because you guys don't know anything, and
as somebody who only remembers Kairi and Riku, I only remember Kairi and Riku, and apparently there's like a Xenohort. And like
Xehanort.
And there's an organization. I don't know if they're good guys or bad guys.
Anyway, Delilah, you haven't really played Kingdom Hearts, right?
I did. Long time ago.
Okay,
I started playing the like re-releases.
Okay.
But I never finished it.
I'm just making sure you're not like much more knowledgeable about this than I thought both of you were, because I know Jason's clueless, but I just couldn't remember how in the know you were.
Yeah,
they should make like a nose, or what is it, on nose spin-off where you play as Sora's mother waiting for him to come home for dinner.
God.
What's it gonna be? Cooking Mama, where is my son?
Exactly. Where'd he go?
Every level is just like, dinner's ready. Where are you?
I feel like we're shitting on Bethesda, and I get it, but I just have to say, like, I was super surprised at a new Doom game. I did not expect that.
I glossed over that one.
Props.
So I glossed over Doom, and that's another one I did want to bring up because that also bothered me because that was an announcement for an announcement. Really cool teaser. It's really awesome that we're getting a new Doom so soon. I still don't know what it is, and we're not going to find out till QuakeCon. It's like, then announce it at QuakeCon.
Yeah, why didn't Bethesda just kind of take over QuakeCon? They own it now, don't they?
The way I just took it was that was basically an ad for QuakeCon. Come to QuakeCon or tune into QuakeCon so you can find out more about this game.
I guess.
Which I just don't like that. I don't like that one bit. But yeah, it's cool that we're getting a new Doom. I love the concept for another Wolfenstein, kind of like Old Blood spin-off. I love how it's called Young Blood. Kind of like nice parallel there, and I love the concept of it being a co-op game as BJ's twin daughters. I think that's really, really cool, and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah, they have to be badasses because Homegirl, while she was pregnant, was like going off on motherfuckers with like her belly and like showing her tits and shit.
excuse me. As a fellow Polak, okay, I'm Polish too. Her name is Anya.
Excuse me.
You're being all racist against Polish people.
Right. Okay. Real quick, I also want to talk about Ubisoft. I don't know. It was an enjoyable show. No Splinter Cell again.
What the fuck?
The one premonition from the Walmart Canada leak that didn't come true that I probably wanted most just didn't happen. And where is that, man? Like what's going on? But we did.
As a Metal Gear fan, that's like the best thing Ubisoft could give me.
Yeah, considering that that franchise is dead in the water to us now. Assassin's Creed looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing though, I'm not gonna buy it. I know I'm not gonna buy it, even though it looks awesome. Especially with the Greek setting, that's like right up my alley.
Okay.
Like all the old Homeric stuff. Here's the problem. I don't want to fucking sit through all these like time traveling, like Matrix, whatever it's called. The thing.
What is it? The
Animus. The Animus. I'm not sitting through that shit. No.
They don't focus too much on the Animus now, as they did with Desmond.
Like, why can't they just? I feel like at this point it would be awesome if they just like take Assassin's Creed and make it not Assassin's Creed anymore, but it's still like it plays like Assassin's Creed,
Right.
and just play as people in these time periods because that's what people want.
This
Nobody
year
wants
in
that shit.
this year in historical era video game.
Why not?
I don't know, because brand recognition, man.
Well, you could like just cut out the animus of the Assassin's Creed. I don't know.
Sure, but how do you link them together at that point?
You play as assassins. I don't know, man. Whatever. That's just my side note.
Yeah, it's like
It's hard to get excited, even though like it looks exactly like what I want.
it does look really cool. What the other big thing
The
I want to
Division?
talk about from I don't care about the Division, man.
Okay.
Like I don't know, you guys were much bigger on the Division than I ever was. Did that make you want to go back? Division 2?
Not real. I have to see more. I have to like, and I've heard good things.
Well, it's interesting
from,
that you say that because that's the game they probably showed the most.
I mean, I was kind of, admittedly, I was kind of in and out of the Ubisoft one. I didn't
Okay.
get to sit down and watch it like I did the Square one.
Okay.
Simply because I was at work.
Sure.
But
It was
I
also
did
a lot
go back.
longer.
I did go back and watch like full segments.
Okay.
The Division was a game that, like the original Destiny, I heard had improved over time, like Warframe. You know, from people who are in those kinds of circles, YouTubers and players and such. Delilah, I never went back to the original Division. Delilah, I don't know if you did, but
No, after I platinumed it, I was done.
oh, after I platinum,
That's honestly though, that's the life of a trophy hunter. You know, we go for the platinum and like, all right, I'm fucking done. Like,
But like to be fair, like games like the Division and Destiny, like I learn not to get too engrossed in them because if I expect to play over and over again, like most people want out of it, then I'll get disappointed. So if I go into it like I'm gonna play the story, I'm gonna do like a lot of like PvP and side stuff. Gonna really dive into it, then I have a good experience and I don't expect too much out of it. And so I will get the Division 2 and I will enjoy it because I'm not gonna play it forever.
right? Like, see, I'm the opposite where I want a grindy experience like that. I heard good things. The setting looks cool. I like the
Yeah.
idea of a DC hot summertime. You know, I lived in DC for 3.5 years, so like I get that setting. I don't know. I just got to see more. I got to see more what the gameplay loops, how they revised it from, you know, I left very early on. So I just got to see, you know, what it looks like now. But it did catch my interest at least.
okay.
Yeah.
And the other big thing I wanted to talk about was how they opened, and I don't count the Just Dance number. Just Dance goes along with EA showing sports games in that you're not going to get any more people to purchase that game by having it at your E3 press conference, and the people that are going to buy it aren't watching E3 anyway.
Right.
I don't really know why they continue to do something for that.
I feel like E3 is becoming more of an entertainment performance because a lot of these conferences have like rock shows and guitar playing and dancing. Like
a lot of the people that I've talked to about this, you know, have brought up like E3. It's not really just for fans; it's also for investors, and I really disagree. I feel like it's no longer for investors. It's no longer really.
It's no longer for anybody, to be quite honest. It's all going to go. Everybody's going to start doing videos, and once that happens, why have an E3 other than to have a place to demo games?
Right, especially with press conferences live at that convention. Like that is a convention. It's no longer like something that people are watching to say, oh, you know what? I think that looks cool. I'm going to invest in that company. It's not. I feel like it's not really about that anymore.
E3 is a relic. E3 is a relic of the days when like gaming wasn't big enough. Where each of the segments of gaming, like first-person shooters, computer, console, everything had to kind of aggregate, and all the companies had to come together and pool their resources.
Right.
Now it's big enough, and we have the technology, the communications technology.
We have the technology.
We can rebuild him. But I don't want to spend that much. But now we have everything we need, where you can have QuakeCon for all your first-person stuff. You can have an RPG convention, all that stuff.
And it also, like, I can't make the argument all you want for this is for investors, and you need to have these big sellers there. How is a dancing panda gonna make anyone think I need to invest in this now? I don't. It's not there for that. It's just not. It's there because they feel it needs to be there, and I just don't think it does. But what I want to talk about that actually opened their show for me was that new Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer.
Oh yeah.
And the big reveal at the end of that, which I think is interesting. I haven't, full disclosure, I've never played the first Beyond Good and Evil, but I know that the protagonist of that game looks to be the antagonist of this one, which is utterly fascinating and makes me want to go and play that original game, to find out like how the hell that could fit in.
So this is one where I did not I haven't actually watched this one yet. Okay. Honestly, I'm interested just because it's a storied single player game,
right?
With somewhat of a story.
I wouldn't say single player because the talks as of last year when it was re-revealed was that
the original. I'm saying.
Oh, the original. Okay.
I never played it, so I don't really. I basically not that interested. Didn't get around to watching this particular trailer. Did they reveal gameplay in this trailer?
They did not.
No.
They did show alpha gameplay like after the fact, which looks fine, but we didn't really see a lot. It's very much a game for this year at the very least. Hopefully next year there's more. But for this year, they just wanted to remind people, like, remember last year? Remember when we re-revealed this? Yeah, don't worry, we haven't forgotten about it. Especially with a game like that, where it was announced so long ago, and people were clamoring for them to say something about it for years. They don't want fans to think that they forgot about it already.
And by the way, everybody who's listening, there should be one trend that you're picking up throughout all of these conferences, and that's that all of these games are getting pushed back because we're getting hardware next year, because these are all going to be cross-platform releases.
I still don't think that we're getting hardware next year, but
we are. That's why this was such a shitty E3, dude.
I don't think so, but we don't need to talk about that right now.
I
we don't need
say
to
2
debate
years.
that. We need to get through. I think 2 years.
No, it gets announced next year, and then 2020. Yeah.
I still disagree, but I don't want to talk about that.
That's
I want to I want to get through the rest of the conferences, and then I want to get to our predictions. Last conference I really want to talk about. Real quick aside, I watched the PC gaming show, and I actually enjoyed it.
Probably because it. I don't even know what I was going to say.
They showed a bunch. They showed game after game after game. A lot of them were really interesting. It was just much more well paced than I've ever remembered it being, and didn't really talk about like PC tech and stuff. It mostly focused on games, and I found that to be really enjoyable. But let's move on to I think the big conference we all want to talk about is Sony.
Yeah, because EA is not worth talking about. Or did we talk really about
it? I mentioned EA in the sense that they talked about sports games and they never need to. They talked about sports games and showed nothing new about them. Anthem, I think, was cool having the developers come on stage and talk about the game, have a dialogue about it. Otherwise, like, the gameplay looks cool.
Apparently Anthem was much better actually doing straight gameplay behind closed doors and at the demo booth and stuff.
Right.
I want to put in a quick note for all fellow, Star Wars junkies. I mean, a good Star Wars game would have been like the perfect thing for all the shit that's going on with Star Wars right now.
We got that. We got a Star Wars game announcement. We know the title and where it takes place in the timeline.
That game, the director literally said they just decided on a title.
That was very much a decision of, like, less than a day before the show. Hey Vince, you're gonna be here, right? Yeah.
Right.
Can you announce the title of your game? It's like I don't have anything. But to do on stage. We don't have to do it on stage. We'll go to the crowd. Like,
he was referring to having talks with like the story group at Lucas and shit. Like I do not think they're in like conceptual. They're probably in conceptual phases. Like they have some basic.
I don't think they're in conceptual phases. I think it's further along, but it doesn't defeat the fact that he had nothing to show. There was clearly nothing ready, and they neted to flesh out a conference.
And battle, and
that was a horrible way to do it.
And I went back to see what kind of the state of the game is for Battlefront because their showing was awful. They did not display any like clear plan forward other than whatever this. They mentioned a DLC coming out for like the Clone Wars.
They're going back to the Clone Wars, and General Grievous, Count Dooku, Anakin, and Obi-Wan are going to
Which is fine because a lot of people have been asking for that.
Right.
But the fact that they didn't have any other kind of plan laid out and based on the state of the game as it is, like they've moved so many people off of it. The original studio is no longer on it. It's like some small team. The player base is dwindling. That game is dying. I have a feeling they're just going to let it die.
Regardless,
the EA fucked on all fronts.
It was super awkward.
It was bad. They did announce Unravel 2 and put it out, and I think that's great.
Yeah.
Sea of Solitude stood out to me as like a really interesting title. I have my eyes on that. But otherwise, it was a very bad conference. Easily the worst of the bunch.
It was.
Moving back forward, I want to talk about Sony, and I feel like we don't really need to talk about what we thought of the games themselves, because I think we're all in agreement that all of those games they showed look amazing.
Yeah.
Sony had the best content, but they had one of the lesser presentations.
I want to talk about that whole experiment that they did and how I feel it didn't really work out the way that they expected it to. Just to give context, what they did was they started everybody in a church for the presentation and had the composer for The Last of Us come out and play the theme on the banjo, which I thought was great. It was actually one of the two musical things that I thought they could do.
Yeah.
I was very surprised that both of the things that I thought they could do were things that they did. Did not expect to be right on both fronts, but regardless, he played music, and we find out the reason they're in a church is because they opened The Last of Us 2 demo, and it was in that church. And that was really cool. That was fine that they wanted to really make this immersive experience for the crowd there. And then after that demo, they proceeded to move everybody into a bigger auditorium, which led them to transition the show to a panel with two hosts of the PlayStation Blogcast, people that I listen to on a regular basis, because I listen to that show weekly, which made me not mind that whole transition as much. But I was in the movie theater. You guys know I go to the movie theater every year to see this conference. People in the theater were pissed.
Yeah.
And if you look at, I looked at my Twitter feed after the fact and found out that not only people watching from home were pissed, even people there, the press, the people that were at that show were pissed too. Because they had to all pile into this room to see the show, and then they all had to get up, funnel out of another room, walk through an area, and then funnel into another room, find seating. And it took a good 15-20 minutes to make that transition happen. I thought it was a good way to get Destiny and Call of Duty, the two Activision deals that they're obligated to have on there. I think it was a great time for them to get those out of the way, so they didn't have to waste time during like the big meaty stuff that we want to see. Because I don't need to see Call of Duty. Here's what
I don't understand though is that they literally did this right. Like last year or the year before, where they had the live music playing while they showed the gameplay.
The past 2 years.
It's like you fucking already have it. Just keep doing it.
If they had just kept it in the church, I feel like it could have worked. But needless to say, I hope they don't do something like this ever again.
I
think it was a learning experience for them. Again,
they were just trying to be too crafty. That's all.
Right, exactly. The Sony really likes to be this. They like to put on their theatrics, and while I admire them every year, this was definitely a miss. The musical performances I still really enjoyed, but it's just that really extended waiting period. I saw why it was a problem, even though I didn't mind it as much as everyone else.
This whole thing could have been like, you keep if you want live music, you just play it in the background with the gameplay. Take that first Last of Us trailer. I would have cut the story stuff out of the Last of Us trailer, just had the gameplay.
No.
That's just me though. And by the way, like, I'm not one of those people who like, oh, she's a fucking I knew she was a lesbian. I played the fucking game before. Yeah, I played the game before. Yeah, like, but like, and honestly, that's not why I would want the story stuff cut. The reason is just because it affects the pacing of the conference overall.
I thought it was necessary because I think if we want to talk from a story aspect, we saw that first trailer and Ellie really wants to get revenge. I think we know her motivation now. Something happens to that girl, and that's it's just giving us hints.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. Me personally, I don't think that kind of stuff would be better for like an individual, like God, what do you call it? Sony's
PlayStation Experience?
PSX, yeah, PSX. Sorry, I had a brain fart. Sorry. That's like a PSX trailer, but for like an E3 trailer, it should have been just raw gameplay. Go straight into Ghost of Tsushima, break up with like your Activision shit and like your Ares, and then you move into like Death Stranding. I would have cut down on the Death Stranding as well, and just actually put some fucking gameplay in the Death Stranding trailer.
That's one of the big four that I want to talk, because I think we're all in agreement.
Out with Spider-Man.
I think we're all in agreement of the big four, like Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us Part 2, and Spider-Man. We were all impressed with. There's nothing really to say about them. I want to talk about Death Stranding because I'm a little disappointed in what Kojima had prepared. Because I feel like we should know more about what we're doing in that game by now, and we just still don't. We saw some walking, we saw some climbing, and we saw some sneaking, and that's about it. And altogether, I feel like it was less than a minute of total gameplay, maybe a little over a minute.
And we didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I don't mind that as much. I don't mind not knowing what's going on. I want to know, like, what am I going to be playing?
Exactly.
Like, even when Metal Gear Solid 5 was, because he kept a lot of that close to his chest for a while. When that started getting gameplay thrown out there, we got full demos and we saw exactly like all the mechanics that Snake could do. I don't know any mechanics of this game other than you can those like void monster things that show up. You'll be able to see them with that blinky light thing, and that's about it.
I feel like Hideo Kojima purposely does this to keep like this mystery and keep us guessing and finding clues and stuff like that. But with that said, like I think we're at the point where if that's going to be one of the 4 big titles that you're showing at E3, like we do need to see some more gameplay.
It worked. That worked when it was Metal Gear, and we knew what Metal Gear was. It's
a proven quality.
Yeah. Now all we're guessing is story. At this point, this is what the third E3 this shit's been at, and we still don't have
technically the second because it skipped last year.
Okay,
but. It's been 2 years since this game was revealed.
But it was also at like a PSX.
It was at PSX, yes, and it was also it was shown last time it was shown with a trailer was the past Game Awards.
I'm sorry though, but like I've lost interest at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like
I haven't lost interest, but I'm definitely disappointed.
I'll jump back in as soon as I know what's going on.
By PSX, I feel like we need the PSX this year. That's when we need to see something as far as like how this actually plays out, especially because he's hinted previously this game will be out by the end of 2019. That hasn't been explicitly said like in like a trailer or any big announcement. He hinted heavily with something that he said before though that it would be out by the end of 2019. So we need to see it. The other big surprise that came out of that press conference, at least for me, was Resident Evil 2 remake was finally revealed, coming out in January, just like how 7 was revealed and out that January. I'm so excited. And then lastly, before we get into predictions, I want to talk about the Nintendo Direct.
You mean the Smash Direct?
Well, yeah,
exactly.
The Super Smash Brothers Direct. Yeah, I am really happy about Smash and really upset that they spent so much time talking about it.
As somebody who doesn't care about Smash, that Direct fucking blows. Lame.
It's awesome. I love Smash. My roommates love Smash. We were all talking about it nonstop. We were talking about it today. Like for a good 20 minutes, just about like little things. It's great. Every character from every game. Snake is coming back. I want my Snake amiibo.
Yeah.
Where's my Snake amiibo?
Yeah, right.
Ridley he's not too big now for the game apparently because Ridley's coming to Smash. They proceeded to talk about really small, intricate details, and almost the entire second half of the Direct was all about Smash, and that could have been a Direct in and of its own right, and I feel like it should have been. Announce the game, announce that every character that's ever been in the roster is coming back, and announce Ridley, and move on and talk about other games. We did get a glimpse at the new Fire Emblem. It looks really cool. Overcooked 2 was confirmed. It was kind of leaked, and I'm happy to see that it's real. I'm really excited for that as somebody that liked Overcooked. And we got
Fortnite.
a little more. Fortnite was confirmed. We got a little more details about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee.
That's probably
even,
Fortnite.
though.
Fortnite is probably actually the most important announcement of their Direct, simply because Smash, while Smash is generally popular amongst like Nintendo fans and hardcore gamers, Smash isn't actually a system seller for them.
I disagree with that strongly, but
Smash doesn't move units the same way that a Mario game does or
Jason,
a Mario Kart does.
I'm fairly certain that Smash sold Wii U's.
No, but
yes, it did.
No, dude. Mario Kart and Mario Galaxy sold Wii U's.
I thought Wind Waker sold them, but whatever.
Or I'm sorry,
that also did. But anyway,
but it doesn't sell as like it does sell units. Don't get me wrong, but like
I feel
it's not as like when you're talking about like the FIFA and the FIFA and the Madden crowd, like Smash doesn't penetrate as much as like say Mario Kart. But that's neither here nor there. The point I'm making is
we'll agree to disagree on that.
Fortnite is going to be important because that's a game that's going to sell. That's going to push huge, especially for not just like people who are already into Fortnite and want to play, but kids who want to play Fortnite and want to trick their parents into getting them a fucking kiddie console.
I actually think it might be a little like too little, too late,
especially
maybe because Fortnite's been on mobile, and mobile's out everywhere. Everyone has a smartphone. And you can download Fortnite on it. Like I think getting Fortnite on Switch, it's neat. I don't think it's as important as you think it is. I think Smash is going to move lots of units, and they know that, and that's why they focus so much time on it. But even though they really should have waited to have a dedicated Direct with more information and maybe an extra character reveal or two.
I felt like we needed more information on Pokemon, to be honest. I don't feel like they showed anything more than what they showed during their Direct, and I'm just like, I don't know. Did they show something afterwards? Like, I couldn't watch.
Yeah, there was like Treehouse stuff.
They did demo it in Treehouse and talk about it some more there. But otherwise, the Direct showed a really cool. It opened with a really cool mech game called Daemon X Machina. Which looks cool, and Xenoblade Chronicles DLC. But other than that, I feel like it was a really kind of a disappointing Direct.
No, it wasn't. I was surprised. I thought we would either see this whatever this Star Fox Racing thing. I have a feeling that's not exactly what it is. I thought we would either see that or Metroid. I was surprised we didn't see it. I mean, I know that Metroid's not a seller, so they probably would reserve that for like, one of their other Directs, maybe. But like they really didn't have much here. I'm surprised. Maybe they picked up on kind of the negative response to the negative reaction to the Star Fox leak. I don't know.
I negative react. I feel like a lot of people were kind of hyped about that. From what I heard, regardless, It wasn't a Star Fox-less E3 though. Let's not forget Star Fox is in Starlink. Which I think is a really cool looking game, and I think he's a perfect fit for it. But regardless,
I will say I'm not going to be like over the moon about Star Fox being relegated to a fucking racing game, but what can you do?
Yeah. Okay. I think. Does anyone have any final thoughts to talk about or to mention about? I don't know, the E3 conferences or E3 goings on. Because other than that,
Sony, Microsoft,
okay,
Nintendo, or Ubisoft, Nintendo, Square Enix, EA. Oh wait, Bethesda on top of Square Enix.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just a
so defeated.
It was just a meh E3. I feel like I wasted time watching a lot of this, except for the only games that I really cared about were at the Sony one. The Last of Us gameplay was fucking amazing.
God.
Right.
Yeah,
and I feel like
Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 2 remake, like if they didn't fuck up like the actual presentation itself, it would have been definitely
it would have been better than Microsoft's in my opinion, but the pacing was just so broken up and the experiment kind of failed, which led me to feel that it wasn't their best. But anyway,
let's get to the scores.
All right, let's get to the scores. Second part of the show, we're going to go over our predictions and tally up points. Are you ready, Jason?
I am ready.
Delilah? All right. So we'll start with all three of our Kingdom Hearts 3 predictions. Of which only one of us got partial credit. Delilah and I had the exact same prediction, which was that it would be dated for December this year and Big Hero 6 would finally be revealed. I got a second wind hope that when they showed it again during Sony's, we would somehow see a glimpse of it, even though the big reveal during Sony's conference was Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, which I was like, what?
Also made me really mad. No matter how gorgeous it looks, and it's amazing how they actually look like they belong this time, because if you played Kingdom Hearts 2, the Pirates of the Caribbean world there, Sora just looks like an anime character around real people, and it's just strange. I also I saw him in a pirate hat and got really hopeful for about 5 seconds that it was Treasure Planet, and not only is it Pirates of the Caribbean, but it was the it's the setting of the Pirates of the Caribbean movie that made me hate the franchise. So, Delilah, you and I did not get any points for that, but Jason, you said November 2018 Frozen would be revealed, and you were right about Frozen. We were all wrong. It's coming in 2019, January. So Jason gets half a point for that.
Kudos.
0.5, motherfucker.
Doubling back, we'll go to me and say, and I even double-checked today. I just looked through articles and looked through Square Enix's programming. Final Fantasy VII Remake was not said at all.
Nope.
And
not surprised.
I get nothing about that. I get nothing for that. I was even hoping during Sony's that Sean Layden would say just all someone had to say were those words and show nothing, and I'd get a point.
I think definitely they're saving that for PSX.
I certainly hope so, but I got nothing there. We'll move on to Jason. There was a Nier announcement. It wasn't for a new game.
It wasn't a tease. Yeah, it wasn't.
It wasn't a tease. It wasn't a new game.
That's why I was gonna ask, but I felt like, you know what, I'll just take the loss.
And I had a feeling you were gonna fight me on this, but sorry, you said a new Nier game tease, and this was an announcement of Nier Automata coming to Xbox One with all the DLC. So
I should have worded it better. I should have just said a new Nier announcement.
Yeah, well, you fucked up.
I did fuck up.
Delilah, going to you. You said that Bloodborne 2 would be revealed, and we found out that From Software's new game is Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice, which is the second best samurai-based game that we saw at E3, in my opinion.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima was number one, hands down for me. I feel like for a lot of people. Sekiro looks awesome, and I'm really excited about it. to double back, we also did get an announcement of Neo 2, which I think is really cool, but Sekiro took the cake. That looks awesome. So no point, no Bloodborne 2. Sorry, Delilah. Another year.
You lose.
It's gonna happen next year, and I'm not even gonna put it on my list. Just like Elder Scrolls 6.
You're finally gonna give up. You're finally gonna fuck. I can't keep putting this year after year and lose this point. Not gonna put it. Gets announced. God damn it. All right. Double back to me, and I guess this also counts for Delilah too. We both said that Microsoft would announce a new Fable.
Well.
I had the stipulation that it would not be Fable 4. You had the stipulation that it would have a trailer. No Fable wasn't said. Fable wasn't mentioned. No points for us on that.
I should have just predicted that Ubisoft was going to announce Just Dance.
Let's go on to Jason. Jason, you said that Halo 6 would be revealed, and this is one I'm going to fight you on.
I don't know. Let's let Delilah tiebreak
We
this.
did get a new Halo game, but it was not Halo 6, and we don't know if it's going to be Halo 6, quote unquote.
The reason I'll fight you on this one is because we don't really know anything about it.
What I was going to say, I'm not going to.
I'll
give you
take half a
nothing.
point.
I was going to give you half a point.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
We're
think
all in
that's
agreement
fair.
with that. Okay, cool. So
I
Jason-
think if there's a tiebreaker, though, I would push that to like 70.75.
Like, if it was like Fallout 76, where
No.
we knew it's not a numbered one, I would.
half. I'm playing to win here, Delilah. All right, so that we covered Delilah and I in one go, so I'm gonna go back to me. I said that. Which one do I want to do next? I said that Metroid Prime 4 would not be there,
You get a point.
and it wasn't. It was not there. I get a point. Jason.
Dude.
Hmm.
When they showed Samus's foot at the end of the
Yeah,
Nintendo
no,
Direct.
I thought it was gonna go into.
I got really scared. I was like, because we go through all of that, and I'm like, sweet, I got a fucking point. No Metroid Prime, and I see something, I'm like,
Yeah.
no, and then I saw Mario. I was like, oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
was like,
I was like,
fuck.
oh, okay, and then I was immediately back to like, wait a second, what is that?
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Jason, you said that Anthem would get a release date for Q1 of 2019 with an alpha/beta announced for late 2018. You were right for half of that. You're getting half a point because we did get a release date February 22nd. That's Q1. You hands down get that. They didn't talk about a beta or alpha. I think you can sign up for one, but we don't know when it is.
They didn't announce it, yeah.
They didn't announce it. It wasn't really a thing, so half a point.
That's fine.
Okay. Delilah. And we checked again on this one, and I feel bad.
And
I'm
it's
really
okay.
surprised that this didn't actually come true, but Microsoft did not actually reveal a new first-party IP.
Yeah.
We talked in our chat and thought Session
Does
state
Terry
successor-
Crews does Terry Crews count
No,
as a new
Terry
IP?
Crews does not count as a new IP. But we'll get to Terry Crews. We thought Session, the Skate successor, was a new. It is a new IP, but it's not first party from Microsoft. It's actually from a independent studio named Creature Games, and they are Creature Studios, and they have like a weird hyphen in between Cree and Chur in their name. Strange. It was actually a kickstarted game back in 2015. I looked up, so not a first party IP. So no points on that one, unfortunately. Yep. Doubling back. I'm jumping around a lot, so I'm just going to start going down the list, regardless of like themes and stuff. I said there would be a Death Stranding gameplay reveal and a release window of 2019, and we did get gameplay for Death Stranding for the first time.
I'll give you half a point, yeah.
I take half a point on that. I fully acknowledge that the 2019, no release window was announced, but we did see gameplay, so half a point for me. Jason, you said that Ghost of Tsushima would get a release window of spring 2019. There was no
release.
Nothing. Now, you did also mention we'd get like a lot of gameplay. I kind of feel like that was expected
Yeah, no,
So,
no points.
Yeah, no points on that. Okay. If we're in agreement, then I don't have to fight it. Sorry about that. Delilah, and I'm just as disappointed as you are about this one. Like this goes hand in hand on why I'm a little disappointed Square showing was so short. There's so many projects they have baking that we just haven't seen.
The Marvel, yeah.
And we did not see their Avengers game.
Motherfuckers.
The one that I expected to be blown out there, shown, was not there. So no points on that. Double back to me, and I was real happy about I was more happy about getting a point than I was even about the game. But Babylon's Fall is being developed by Platinum Games. So I get a straight up point there.
What was your exact prediction?
That we would get a new game announced being developed by Platinum Games.
Okay. Yep, that happened.
Because my justification behind that was, Platinum, they develop a lot of games. You usually have multiple things baking at once. The only one that we know of, the only two that we know of that they were making prior to E3 were Bayonetta 3, obviously, and they were working with Psy Games to make a Grand Blue Fantasy thing in Japan. So I figured that there has to be something else in the oven, and sure enough, they announced it. So I got a point straight up for that. Jason and Delilah, I'm going to combine you two because you both had very similar predictions here. Except only one of you is getting a full point for it. You both said that Bethesda would reveal a new IP, and they did, Starfield. Jason, you said that it would release in 2018.
Did I?
You did.
I don't remember saying that, but that's fine. I'll get half a point.
You get half a point, Delilah gets a full point on that.
Yay! I didn't think I was going to get any.
Why the fuck did I say that?
Because you're the dummy, I don't know. Continuing with the disappointing games announcements from Nintendo, I said that we would get a new 3DS Zelda game this fall. I don't think 3DS was mentioned once during their presentation, so I got nothing on that. Back to Death Stranding, I forgot to mention Jason's Death Stranding prediction. You said there would be no trailer and no date.
Did I?
You did.
Okay.
I don't really know why you thought that, but you got nothing for that, buddy. Or you know what? You'd said no date, and that was true. I'll give you half.
Half a point, yeah.
Half a point. You'll get half a point for that. So half a point for that. Let's go on. Delilah. Man. You said that a new BioShock would be revealed.
Yeah, that didn't even happen.
And that it would be darker in tone. No, there was no new BioShock, unfortunately.
Nope.
Unfortunately.
Womp, womp, womp.
Nothing on that. Let's go on to... I said a new Advance Wars game would be announced again. Nope. No new Advance Wars, nothing, so...
Sorry, my cats are fighting.
That's okay. Now, this is one that I'm going to need help with.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because you had a specific ass prediction about Destiny.
Oh.
What did I say?
You said... I'm like, you don't even remember your fucking predictions, man. You said that the Destiny expansion would be dated for September 18th.
Which is wrong.
September
9th.
4th.
4th, sorry.
Close.
That it would be fallen focused.
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay. That they would talk about LFG.
They did not.
No.
And that something about Prison of Elders, I guess that it would be returning.
No.
That was kind of talked about in
kind of, yeah. They did mention Prison of Elders. They did say like activities like Prison of Elders. They didn't say when it would come, but they said we're looking at bringing activities like Prison of Elders back.
Okay. So how would you like to be rewarded for this?
Half a point. Half
a point?
Yeah.
All right. I'll give it to you. All right. Half a point for that.
You see how I diversified my portfolio with that prediction?
Okay. Delilah, you said... Oh, man. You said that Dead Island 2 would be revived.
Okay, I gotta talk about this. When they were showing the zombies and the Dead Island and Dying Light are very similar, except Dying Light has parkour. They're both Techland.
By the way, we didn't even they're Techland. We didn't even mention Dying Light, but Dying Light 2, which they revealed, looks fucking awesome.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Dying Light 1 was awesome too. So when I saw that, I was like, it's Dead Island. No, it's Dying Light. It has to be one of them. Why didn't I predict either or? So I fucked up.
All right.
You
did. Needless to say.
Especially because Dying Light was better than Dead Island.
Yeah, I like both of them.
Yeah.
Stop fighting, you shits. Sorry.
I'm keeping that in, by the way.
That's fine.
So I said that The Last of Us Part 2 trailer would focus on Joel.
Oh.
Joel was just barely mentioned. I'm not getting a point for it, but Joel was just barely mentioned.
They didn't even say his name.
They didn't even say his name. They referred to him as her old man.
Yeah.
Which I think, unless they're gonna pull some crazy weird bait and switch, Joel's alive. Hooray. But anyway, or at least during that segment of the game.
Right.
But I didn't get that point. Womp womp. Let's move on. Jason, you said that the Resident Evil 2 remake would be revealed, and you were right. We did get a Resident Evil 2 remake reveal. Thank God. So happy you were right about that.
It looks so gorgeous.
It does look so gorgeous. I watched gameplay. It looks awesome. I'm so excited.
Oh, they have gameplay out? I gotta go check that shit out.
There was gameplay previewed. and
Is it like RE4 style?
Yes.
Okay.
Go check it out. I already said, Delilah, that you also had a Metroid Prime 4 prediction.
Yeah.
Okay. So you also said, and this is another one that I kind of want to talk about because I feel like we might deliberate on it a bit. Pokemon Switch.
Oh.
Would be revealed and not completely turn-based. Now, do we want to count Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee? I'm not really because I feel like we went in with this prediction show. We went in with the expectation that the one Pokemon game that they were making for Switch was that mainline one that's not coming till next year, and they kind of pulled a fast one on us and revealed this thing we totally weren't expecting, and it's coming to Switch, and it is not completely turn-based because at least not in the sense, or at least in the sense of catching Pokemon, it's not really turn-based. It's more the Pokemon Go mechanics of throwing.
I would give her the half a point for that.
I mean, you could give me the full point. I'm not winning.
Because I almost do want to award her a full point for that.
Oh, that's fine.
Because she wasn't necessarily wrong. It was more so playing against our expectations of we were expecting the only Pokemon Switch game to be the mainline one. Which we found out isn't necessarily the case. So yeah, you're getting a full point for that. Delilah, by the way, being the only person that got full points and no partial. My last prediction was Crackdown 3 would be dated again for August 2018. It was dated again, but for February 2019. Can I get half?
Wait, say that again.
Crackdown 3 was dated again. I was right about that part. I was not right about where it was dated. Can I get half a point?
I don't know about that.
Why not?
I would say, if not a half, then like a quarter.
I'll settle for a quarter.
Really, not a half? There's only 2 parts to this prediction.
That you fucking said it would be dated again, but then if you do that, then we have to go back to each one and if I say if we would each have to get a point for Kingdom Hearts because we each said it would be dated.
All right.
But then you know what I'm saying?
All right, then I'll take the loss. I won't get anything. All right.
No, take a quarter.
No. Because Jason's right. Because then we would, even if I get a quarter, we would have to go back and award a quarter for being dated at certain times. Fine, I will take the loss on that. And we actually covered all of Delilah's somehow. Me jumping around and lumping people together made me lose count. But Jason, your last prediction did not come true, and that was that the N64 Classic would be revealed. That was a no-go, which I tried to tell you wasn't gonna happen, but you were adamant about it. You swore up and down they were gonna announce that.
But right after we recorded, though, there was
leaks about like some
yeah.
the controller.
There was a patent filed for, or no, the N64 trademark was renewed.
Yeah.
So and I did post that, and you were getting really, really confident, but it didn't wind up happening. So I have the final tally in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Jason is a little sneaky bastard. So Delilah, you got a full 2 points. Your full point for Bethesda getting a new IP revealed, and your full point for Pokemon Switch.
Yo, props to her though for like being straight up and just getting fucking full on points.
Right.
Aw, thank you. I have to get something as a loser, right?
I got 2.5 points. The one for Platinum Games, the one for Metroid Prime 4, and the half for the gameplay reveal of Death Stranding. Jason, in total, got 0.5 point for Frozen being a world, 0.5 point for Halo, 0.5 point for Anthem, 0.5 point for Bethesda revealing new IP, 0.5 point for Death Stranding having no date.
There's a method to my madness.
0.5 point for the Destiny bullshit that he pulled, and a full point for Resident Evil 2 Remake. So total, Jason gets 4 points total.
Aww. And just like he was about to predict Doom, and we told him not to.
I would have gotten the point.
Yeah. I was surprised.
Wait, he was about to predict what?
Remember
Doom.
He was going to predict a new Doom?
Oh, Doom, right.
Yeah.
He was, and we talked him out of it.
Yep.
I guess it wouldn't have really mattered, but Jason, you are the winner of this year's E3 prediction showdown.
I'd like to thank everybody who helped me get here. Now
who would that be? Jason or Mark and Delilah, basically. That's who helped to get there.
I've been the host of the Analog Report. I've won. I've won the E3 predictions. Now I can retire in peace.
Yeah, you're not. But you're not going to. You're not going to retire because eventually, we are going to come back.
I gotta win one year.
You got to win one year. Jason's the scoreboard is Jason 2, me 1, you 0.
Yep.
Overall through the 3 years that we've been doing this. Once again, I think I touched on this in the last episode.
I think we need to make rules though next year. No more of this 0.5 point bullshit.
You want to do this all or nothing? Yeah,
all or nothing bets. Okay. No 2-part bets like I did this year. That's kind of bullshit. It's unfair.
Well, I think having, if you want to have multiple stipulations, I think that's fine, and honestly that's more fair because I don't like the whole idea of predictions of this will get a trailer. It's like,
right.
I feel like that's too easy.
But we'll talk about that.
We always, year. I mean, I do just like, I do really like that when we talk about something that's already been announced, we do add in stipulations more than just this will be shown. Like, I wasn't just gonna say that, Death Stranding would be there. No, I wanted to say that the gameplay would be revealed and it would get this release window. Or
yeah, that's fine.
There would be a The Last of Us 2 trailer. No, of course there's going to be a Last of Us 2 trailer. I thought it would focus on Joel, and adding those stipulations makes it a lot more interesting.
That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
So, yeah, that being said, once again, I touched on this last episode. I'll touch on it again right now. We are on hiatus. This is a special, fun little thing that we decided to come back and do. For the sake of E3, obviously we're always talking. We always want to come back and do more stuff. Delilah's in school. Jason started a new job. I actually just started a new job myself, technically. So we're all kind of busy, but we will be back at some point to do something, even if it's a new show or two. But anyway, time to close the show, I guess, right? I got to do that as a host.
That's what hosts do.
Okay. This has been a very special episode of the Analog Report. You can follow us as a whole on Twitter. We have the Dead Cell Media account at Dead Cell Media. You can follow me at Nibelheimian, Jason at SolidQuaz, Delilah at Assassina_San.
Is it?
They will all
It's
be
underscore. Did you confirm that?
I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can find all those in the description below. You can also, if you enjoyed this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We will be back eventually, either with this show or with this show and other content. Like I said, we've been talking about bringing stuff back and doing new things. I have lots of ideas. We all have lots of ideas. It's just a matter of time. So, like I said, like, subscribe. And thank you for listening. I hope everyone had a good E3.
Yeah. Sort of good.
Sort of good. Mostly good. Thank you for listening. And goodbye.
Bye.